Trust doesn't shatter all at once. It frays little by little, like a loose thread tugged from a favorite shirt. At first, you hardly notice. Then, one day, the hole is too wide to ignore. For me, it began the day I forgot my camera at home. My wife mentioned, almost offhand, that her ex had borrowed it. She said it so casually, like it was nothing. "Don't be mad," she added with a nervous laugh. But something in me shifted. Why was she even talking to him, let alone lending him something that was mine? I brushed it aside, told myself I was overanalyzing, that real trust meant ignoring small suspicions. But doubts, when left unspoken, have a way of growing. A week later, I stopped by a local camera shop to buy a new lens. The owner, an older man with kind eyes and a steady voice, looked up and froze when he saw me. He asked, "Did you recently sell your camera?" I frowned. "No, why?" He turned his monitor toward me, and there it was, my camera listed under trade-ins. Same model, same tiny scratches near the strap ring, even an engraving beneath the lens mount. "Aaron, keep creating." The air went heavy. The owner didn't say a word before picking up the phone. He was already calling the police while I stood there, trying to process what I was seeing. Those seconds stretched into hours. My mind replayed her voice. "Don't be mad. My ex has your camera." It hit me like a confession disguised as a joke. The shop owner spoke quietly to the dispatcher, giving details. The serial number, the trade date, and the man who brought it in. I could barely breathe. I could picture my camera sitting on a stranger's counter, while my wife acted as if everything was fine. When he hung up, he looked at me and said softly, "You did the right thing coming in." But I hadn't done anything. I just walked straight into the truth. Minutes later, 2 officers arrived. They checked my purchase records, asked a few questions, and confirmed what I already knew. The camera was mine. What I didn't know was how deep the betrayal ran. It turned out the man who sold it wasn't just her ex. He'd been showing up at our house while I was at work. Neighbors had seen him, helping her load things into his car. My stomach turned when police said other missing electronics were traced through the same pawn network. That night, when I walked into our home, it felt colder, smaller. She was sitting on the couch, scrolling her phone as if nothing had happened. I asked her one question. "Why?" She didn't answer. Her eyes were filled with guilt, her lips forming excuses. But before she could speak, there was a knock at the door. The sound echoed through the room like a warning. She froze, her phone slipping from her hand. When I opened the door, the same 2 officers stood there. Their faces were calm but decisive. They asked for her by name. The color drained from her face. I didn't need to ask why. They'd already told me enough. She tried to say something, maybe to explain, maybe to plead, but the records had already spoken. Her name appeared on multiple pawn slips. My camera was only one of many things she traded for quick cash. As they read her rights, she looked at me with tears streaming down her cheeks. "I didn't think you'd find out," she whispered. "Not sorry for what she did, just sorry she'd been caught." I said nothing. There was nothing left to say. The woman I thought I knew had been fading long before that moment. I just hadn't noticed. When the door closed behind them, the silence was unbearable. I walked to the spot where my camera used to sit. That empty space now held every lie I'd ignored. The photos on the wall stared back. Smiles, vacations, perfect snapshots from a life that no longer existed. Later, when the shop called to say my camera was being returned, I didn't feel relief, only emptiness. Because some things, once stolen, can't be restored. Trust, peace, faith, love. She'd told me not to be mad. But I wasn't angry. I was done.